What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA. And this episode is the Dana White's Contender Series, Week 2, 5 fights. I have a guest this week. My co-host for this show is out this week. He had to do another show. But I do have a special guest, a good friend, a very sharp guy. Doesn't do a lot of, I think, Dana White's Contender Series, but UFC, very, very sharp. And I'll bring him in here. It's my buddy, Shawn Orr. What's up, Shawn? We have 5 fights, a couple of really good ones, a couple of, I think, squash matches as well. But how do you feel about Week 2, Dana White's Contender Series?
I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed taping the fights and kind of seeing these guys. There's a few. What'd you say? Oh, talking to your son. Sorry. There's a few guys on here that I think people will be familiar with. A couple of guys I actually didn't know about because I don't tape regionals as much as you do. But I think there's going to be some exciting fights. But like you said, there's I think 2 of them are squash matches. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of feel it's a decent card. Again, for the second week in a row, they put, I think the best matchup is the first fight of the night. It's funny.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, they did the same thing. Let me go shout out my chat real quick before we start here. Justin Wilson, what is up? Bill Norman, what's up, my friend? Thanks for joining. Dixon, always in the house. Azure, thanks for coming in, my friend. Timothy Johnson, also in the house. Trap Lord says he's predicting favorites to go 4-1 this week. Easiest fade. We'll talk about that as well. Ghost Gardner, the time traveling Narco Cop, and Mr. Orr. Good shit. Let's go. Tristan, what's up, my man? Landon in the house as well. Arturo, bonjour, my friend. Joshua, what is up? Jay, what is up, my man? Gerardo, what is up? Quinn in the house. I haven't seen Quinn forever. Hello, brothers. Very handsome this evening. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I think we can start out here. Narashi says so many YouTubers live in the house. Thank you, my friend. 111 people live already. We'll start out here. First fight of the night, actually the best fight of the night, in my opinion. It's in the bantamweight division. It is the 5-1 Billy Brand versus the 6-1 Australian Cody Haden. And I'll let you kick this one off here, Shawn.
Yeah, like you said, this is probably the highest level fight on the card. It's going to be the most competitive because you basically got Cody Haden, who's Australian prospect. He fights out of Perth, smaller area, but some quality on his resume. He's been training a long time. He sounds very thoughtful in his interviews. He knows Billy Brand. And I could say the opposite. I could say Billy Brand, he's been fighting a lot of stiff competition on the regional scene, Uriah Faber's promotion. And he, too, seems very thoughtful, well-studied kid. And he also had good things to say about Cody Haden. So that's the first thing that stands out to me in this spot is that both guys are extremely thoughtful, smart, intelligent martial artists. They're probably both going to end up in the UFC someday. The fight, as far as that goes, I think it's going to boil down to who wins the front foot. Both guys are hittable. Cody is really susceptible to right hands. I think it's something people might not pick up on the tape because he looks so clean. He's very smooth. You can see he's a fluid guy, but the guy just doesn't see right hands coming at all. But you could say on the Billy Brand side, basically he risks everything just to get off his offense, right? It's hands down. But I think overall he's going to be the more powerful guy on the feet. Who was that fight last week? It was like Anhu To. Yeah. I think that Billy Brand is what people thought that guy was last week. They're looking at the matchup. They see a smooth striker versus a guy who's a little bit more powerful. And they bet the Hosai was pretty popular last week. I think Billy Brand is a better version of what that is because I think Ho is just so raw. He's not really that polished. Doesn't have too many skills, in my opinion. But he's going to be good one day. He's just very inexperienced. But the way I see this going down is I think that it's going to be a competitive first round. I think Billy's going to really be minding his P's and Q's, trying to get his reads. I think he's going to be landing some kicks. I think that Haden's going to be landing more shots. And then I think as the fight progresses, I personally would bet on Billy landing something significant and hurting Haden in the fight. That's my prediction. I did bet Billy Brand. I think I got him at plus 150. I think the line should be probably pick 'em. I bet that yesterday. But anything can happen, right? Because they're both really skilled guys. And I do think one edge that Cody has that might not get talked about a ton is jiu-jitsu. So if this ends up on the ground, I do expect there to be some opportunities for him. But give me Billy Brand to break down this opponent and finish him late in the fight or win a decision.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting matchup. Two good strikers, in my opinion. Both guys can strike. I think the guy with the better hand slightly is Cody Haden, because I just think he throws more in combos. He's throwing 3, 4, 5 punches at a time. You know what I realized with both guys that they do really well is they go to the body. Both guys go to the body really well. Both guys have finished guys to the body as well. So they look for the body. They look for the head. The one thing that I can say is, both guys kick a little, but definitely Billy Brandt's kicks are much harder than Cody Haden's. The guy has a pretty much a Muay Thai background. He's trained out there in Thailand, so the guy can kick, and he has thicker legs as well, like just built a little bit thicker. But at faceoffs, Cody Haden had a pretty substantial size advantage as far as height and like a little bit more size on him. Haden has fought at 25 before, and this fight is at 35, and obviously he's a 35er. He's a little bit bigger. He fought
Brand or Haden has fought at 25.
I think Haden has fought at 25, if I'm not mistaken. Has he not? In his
maybe in amateur.
Maybe in amateurs I saw it. I don't remember. No, actually, maybe I meant Brand then.
I think you mean Brand.
Yeah, Brand. It's Brand. Sorry, it's Brand. This guy's always fought at 35.
He's fought at 45 though too. Brand has.
Yeah, I mean, both guys. I don't think the size is going to be a big difference, to be honest.
I don't either.
But I do kind of lean like level of opposition a little bit to Billy Brand because he's fought in the amateurs quite a bit. He fought AJ Robb, he's an okay fighter in the amateurs. We saw the war he had with Peyton Talbot. I mean, even though Talbot was clearly winning the fight, but it was an absolute war, man. He landed some very big shots. I mean, probably not many people can take those. That spinning elbow he landed in round 2 landed flush, dude.
Yeah.
And fucking Peyton Talbot just like nothing, like just took it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy made of, dude? I don't remember that on tape, but I watched it today and I'm like, how did this guy take the spinning elbow? Didn't even phase it, man. And that guy's obviously built a little different. And this guy's lost to Steve Erceg, when he was really young. So in a competitive fight as well. So I kind of feel like this is a pick-em type of fight, to be honest, after taping. I thought I would like Haden. I think it's a pick-em type of fight. And I honestly don't think the jiu-jitsu is going to come into play in the sense that I really don't like Cody Haden's wrestling that much. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler to get Billy Brand down. That's the issue I have. And the one thing that's, I think, very important, you said they were both smart. Listen to their interviews. They do seem like smart guys. But I think the smarter guy in the cage is Cody Haden. I've watched too many times Billy Brand fuck around, hands down, and he got clipped in that Guidry fight. 2 different times he got clipped. Once he ate 2 rights in a row with his hands down, messing around, and the other time he ate a front kick right to the face, messing around. Same exact scenario, messing around. He ate shots. So the other thing is he tends to turn his back and like run away, like just showboating, which is not very good, honestly, optics-wise. So, but when I watch these two guys, I think one thing stands pretty clear, and people are saying that Haden is tough, and I do think he's kind of tough, but I do think Billy Brand's much tougher of the two. I really do. He looks extremely tough. Even the stoppage was bullshit. Like that stoppage, he's throwing punches back, and the referee stops the fight. Like, what?
Yeah.
What happened here? Why did he stop this?
Yeah.
And he complained, Yeah, he got dropped in the fight and he got hurt. But, dude, this guy finishes everybody, Peyton Talbot. So it's like, okay, is there a shame to that? But honestly, the stoppage was terrible in that fight. So after watching it more, I honestly think that Billy Brand's side, at plus money, I think you can get like plus 140. I think you got to go on that because it's going to be a competitive fight. And I honestly don't think jiu-jitsu comes as a big factor here, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of leaning. I don't have a bet yet, but I'm leaning Billy Brand. I'm also kind of on the side of violence, to be honest. I know both guys are tough, but the way they fight, man, it's like throwing caution to the wind a lot is Haden, man. He's throwing these combos, but like you said, he's wide open to get clipped. And
he gets hit by hands. And some of these he's fighting are not powerful hitters.
Well, no.
They're landing these hits. He's fighting a bunch of noodles in Australia.
I mean, the guy, this Raja Chippen guy, like, he's not very good. The Willa Bram guy kind of landed on him, and that guy was trying to grapple. I have no idea. The Logo guy actually landed pretty good on him in what I watched. But yeah, I mean, overall striking, I kind of lean, honestly, Brand. I think up and down, the kicking game, the striking, I think he's a bit better. I think he's just a guess. I think he has a better chin, to be honest. You kind of say you think, I kind of feel like the power is almost the same, to be honest. Maybe slightly Ned, but I think the power looks about the same to me. What kind of led you that way?
Okay, so like the reason why I think the power is going to favor the Brand side is because
you said the other side though. You said Haden, by the way.
Oh no! I think it favors the Brand side.
Okay, all right.
I think that Brand finds more opportunities for leverage shots.
Okay, that makes more sense.
A lot of high leverage shots, but like the other thing too, and just one more thing, and I'll let you finish. I kind of got a sense that a lot of people were turned off by this Goodry fight, and you know what, dude? Billy Brand is fighting a tall motherfucker in that fight, and he fought a tall motherfucker in Peyton Talbot, and that's a totally different stylistic matchup. He's fought a lot of guys that fight like Haden, like guys that like to come in and pocket box. I haven't really seen Haden fight anybody like Billy Brand. A lot of the guys he's fighting are kind of like noodly dudes. I guess the closest you could say would be Loga, but Loga is pretty
washed.
old. He's old and washed,
He's definitely washed. He's washed.
And no fault to Haden, too, because if you listen to his interview, he said one of the biggest challenges he had was getting fights scheduled because nobody wanted to fight him, which I believe. So I think his schedule is not him avoiding people. I think it's people avoiding him.
Yeah. I'm kind of leaning, honestly. At first, like I said, I was leaning Haden pre-tape, but then after I dug deeper, it's dog or pass. If Haden was a dog, I'd happily play him, but Brand is the dog here, and some people got, I guess, better numbers. I do know that I think opener was plus 180 Haden, which is a great line as well. I would have hammered that if I got that. Yeah, I mean, a very, very competitive fight. I'm gonna go with the dog here. I think Billy Brand might pull it off, and I think I agree with you. I think it could be any round, to be honest. My question is, I don't really know too much about this guy's chin. Yeah, he got clipped by a couple of guys, but I'm still kind of question it a bit, I guess. And I think Billy Brand does crack. He does. And watch out for the kicks, dude. Watch out for the kicks, in my opinion. I think he can really land some big calf kicks. Let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 8-2 Cam Rouston versus the 8-0 Terz Finny. And honestly, there's a big size difference, but I honestly don't care. Like Terz Finny, first of all, let me put this in context a little bit more. I don't think he's UFC ready. Whether he wins and smashes and kills, I don't think this guy's UFC ready. You watch that Emperado fight, he's hurt 2-3 different times. Very bad, right? But what the guy has is obviously insane strength. Like, this guy has insane strength, dude. Like, the way he picks up guys, the way he's built anyways, is just an absolute tank, right? The problem is he's going to be small against everybody. And when I mean small, I mean height, reach. He's going to be destroyed by almost everybody, right, in the division, including this Cam Ralston. But I watched this Cam Ralston guy, and honestly, well, here, Shawn, this is important because I mentioned it in the Lambo plays about that guy, and I mentioned it to you about that guy that what's his name beat in the first fight, Stuart Nickel, right? I mentioned in my shows, like, this guy's an Australian, supposedly he's some big prospect. Why is he not fighting on Hex and Eternal MMA, right? All the best prospects fight in these two organizations, right, in Australia. This guy was fighting in freaking Queensland, okay? The same fucking thing pops up with this Ralston guy. He's 8-2, fighting in Shuriken Fight Series and all this Brace and all these other weird fucking organizations that you've never even heard of, right? Fighting complete cans. Like, when I say cans, just look at the last guy he fought. 49-year-old dude. And it took him 3 rounds to finish this guy. 3 freaking rounds to finish this guy, dude. Embarrassing to me, honestly. Complete embarrassment. I don't see even this guy's supposedly a Muay Thai striker. He's literally grappling in 3 or 4 fights. Like, he's not comfortable apparently on the feet, you know? Like, he's grappling against these guys.
Well, he got clipped in that one fight.
Clipped bad, hurt, doing the stinky leg against a guy that's 0-1. He was 0-0 at the time. The guy gave him the stinky leg, right?
Didn't it kind of like, right? Didn't it, right when you saw that shot land, it reminded you of the Finny overhand?
Yeah, it was very similar to that.
I was like, oh man, really?
but listen, the overhand did right with that EC Fataki guy, the same thing, and he put him completely out face first.
Yeah.
This guy, honestly, this guy sucks. I don't think he has good striking. I don't see it. The one thing he does okay, I guess, is in the clinch, he throws nice knees. I don't want to shame the guy too much, but the UFC is setting this up 100% for Finny to finish this guy, and they want to give him a contract. That's the guy that they want in here, 100%. This Ralston guy had a chance, I guess, last year against Chad Hennecum. He didn't pass some physical or something because he was signed to Dana White's Contender Series, but he couldn't make it to the fight because his medicals didn't pass or whatever, right? So the guy's been out for almost 2 years. They bring him in to fight Terz Finny, who clearly the UFC wants because, I mean, the way he's built, the last knockout, he's all over social media and the way he's built, he's going to smash this guy, bro. Like, it's probably not going to be a standing. It could even be standing, but I think he's going to take him down and absolutely destroy this guy on the ground. I don't see this guy surviving. It could be a sub. It could be a ground and pound. This guy just, to me, screams big time fraud. And I said it. I don't think Terz Finny is all that good. He's just physical. He's strong, right? But as far as skills, like, I really don't think he's that skilled, So yeah, I mean, Terz Finny is going to get this done. I think the line is even short probably with this fucking guy, because I really don't think this Cam Ralston guy is any good at all. So yeah, I think Terz Finny cruises here. I just don't know how he's going to finish. It could be sub. It could be KO. Help me out here.
Probably going to be a KO if there's a finish. Ralston has pretty decent jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I mean, I don't need to echo too much of what you said. I know some people at least that are on the Ralston side. Went into taping it. I see all the flaws with Finny, but a couple things that stood out to me. The biggest thing is it's not like Finny like death gasses in his fights. So you always look for something like that with a guy built like Finny, right? You're like, oh, what if he gets like death gas? I didn't see it. He's still hunting for takedowns late in fights. So I think Finney should be able to take him down. He might struggle at certain points. He might get killed by a knee, I could see potentially. But it's a low percentage outcome given that Rouston is just not athletic. Like usually in these matchups, you're looking for like, okay, well, if I'm going to fade this freak Terz Finny, I want to fade him with somebody who has some pop in his shots, is athletic, or, maybe is some kind of a jiu-jitsu ace. And I just don't see any of that with Rouston. I see a very, tall, slow, moderately, I would say he has skills, but his athletic limitations, his speed is too slow. And I think Finney's probably going to knock him out. Ground and pound stuff.
Probably ground and pound. Yeah, he's probably gonna get his back and just, flatten him and just kill him.
Yeah. How's this guy supposed to get out if he gets flattened out? The guy looks probably weak.
Yeah, he's not. I've seen him in some grappling sequences. He looks very weak, to be honest. And the problem is he's just fighting absolute cans. That's the worst part of it. Yeah. The minute he fought those two guys, like the one guy, his two losses. Yeah, the one guy is good. I will give it to him. That Issa guy, he's obviously good because he went to split against Rizan, who's a really good fighter in one fight night. So he's obviously a good fighter. I'll give him that. The guy he lost, but he got fucking killed. One punch knockout. So What am I supposed to make out of that? Like, okay. And then Jacob Malkoun, 7 years ago beat him. Who cares? And then he's beat absolute cans. Like, I don't know. UFC is setting this up big time. It doesn't always work, but I think it does.
Hey, we'll see.
Moving on, fight number 3. It is in the lightweight division. In the bantamweight division. It is the 8-2 Cavius Romeus versus the 12-6 Michael Emperado. Shawn, this one's yours.
Yeah, I was actually pretty excited to tape this one because I thought I would fade Romeus because, did that last time on Contender Series. There's just not I would say I think that Romeus's game is very stiff, and I just look for I don't think he's like a supernatural, in my opinion, as a fighter. I think he's really skilled, but I just don't think he's like a complete natural. He's more of an athlete. But when I was taping this, though, I couldn't get over the fact that Emperado, he's supposed to be a jiu-jitsu ace, but his bottom game is like non-existent. Even when he's on top of people, he's like, not that imposing. Like, yeah, he's good. If he gets your back, if he gets a good bite on a leg, he'll, finish a submission. But overall, like the IQ of this guy, his gas tank, just not what you want to see. If you're going to bet him, I'd just bet submission. I wouldn't bet anything else personally. But I think that Romeus actually could get on top of this guy. I think he could control him if he wanted to. I think he's going to easily win the striking. I don't think that this guy is so many levels above Romeus in terms of grappling that like Romeus can't handle it. So I think it should be a cruise spot for Romeus. He should probably be like minus 400. He's probably going to get a ground and pound stoppage, if I had to guess. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Emperado, I don't know if you knew. Did you know the background on this guy? Did you just look into it?
No, probably not as much as
funny story. Really funny story. I read an article on it, and I'm like, what happened? So apparently, this guy was signed to compete in the UFC. Okay, they had signed him. I think it was either UFC or TUF or something, right? He goes to Brazil and does some kind of show in Brazil, like where they interviewed him, and he did some kind of show, and then he got pissed apparently at some point, or they asked him something, and he started shouting racial slurs and homophobic slurs in this interview. And the UFC signed him, and then somebody, I don't know who it was, some media guy, was like, hey, you're signing a racist. And he puts the video out there, and they pull his contract. And this is like 9 years ago. He was supposed to fight, listen to this, Aljamain Sterling.
Wow.
That was the matchup, right? So ever since then, well, he said after that he kind of lost his love for MMA. He's like, oh, screw it. He started. He was a construction worker, bricklayer, or something. Concrete. He does concrete, and the one thing you could see with this guy is there's a lot of like in between fights, a lot of time off. 2 years here, 2 years there. He's not really fighting a lot. He's missing a lot. He's pulling out. So that's one thing that stuck out. The second thing that stuck out is, the guy beat Ricky Bandejas. I kind of think he got like a back take fluky like early, and he beat him. He subbed him. He was a plus 500 dog in that, by the way, to Ricky Bandejas, out of all people. But then you watch, and I watched this guy, that Musa Tolliver guy, that's 10-14, that's like 37 years old when he fought him, or 38 years old. And when I watched that fight, there's no fucking way this was a split decision loss. The guy, he had 13 minutes, like 12 minutes.
That was a fucking comical robbery, bro.
How the fuck did this guy lose?
I don't know.
Literally sat on his back the whole fight, did nothing. Didn't even hardly throw submissions up, dude. Just sat on his back for 13 minutes against this guy that's 10-14.
That was a bullshit robbery.
And then he gets one punched by this Edward Walls, like absolutely kills him with one punch. Loses to this Moctezuma guy, who's not that bad, honestly. His record is kind of deceiving. He's not a bad fighter. And I'm like, okay, so he got this one back take submission, and he wins, right? He should have been on a 3-fight losing streak, because that win against Musa is a complete nonsense. And then I watched this Romeus guy, and just honestly, I think the guy is actually pretty skilled. Honestly, I think he has very good power on the feet, super fucking athletic and fast. I mean, the guy is just very good wrestling, honestly. His grappling is pretty damn good. He's a purple belt. He's over there at that Pura Vida now. He has good jiu-jitsu, it seems like. You give quick back takes. He's very athletic, period, right? And he's extremely powerful. He's just kind of short, right? And he talks about how he fucked up. And he says, I went into that fight, and I knew I should have probably grappled. I had a big grappling edge on this guy. And what did I do? I stood and banged with him. Right? He said it got personal. That's what exactly he said. He said it got really personal, and I stood there and banged. Now, the thing is, it could be personal here in this fight, and he still beats the shit out of this guy. Like, what's this guy going to do outside of like a meme sub?
Back take.
That's the other thing. He's dropping for heel hooks. He's doing all types of fucking bozo things, this Emperado guy. And honestly, that's the only way he wins. He's not winning a striking here. He's not winning, the wrestling here. Honestly,
what did this look like?
I will say his shots, his wrestling, when he shoots, are pretty damn good. This Emperado guy. But Romeus is too athletic and too strong for this guy. He literally is. He's not taking this dude down. I doubt it. And even if he takes him down, I think this guy is so fucking athletic, he's going to scramble back up. He's like a jitterbug. That's what he reminds me of. So, yeah, I mean, I think Cortavius Romeus wins pretty easy here, to be honest. They brought him back. Think about it. They brought him back after being knocked out, right? This other guy, he was nowhere on the UFC's radar. He gets a fucking lucky back take submission when Dana White's there looking for a fight, right? Quick submission, and they give him, and they say, hey, we'll bring you to Dana White's Contender Series. But the guy is 34 years old. I'm pretty sure they want nothing to do with this guy. The more exciting guy is obviously Romeus. I just think I think there's going to be a finish here. I don't think this fight goes to the decision. I think that's how I'm going to probably play this one. I just need to let props open up on domestics and see what they look like. But yeah, I think there's going to be a finish here. This guy, Emperado, like he's sub or bust, like you said. I don't mind his wrestling. Honestly, his shots are pretty good. It's just he's going up against a way better athlete in Romeus. So I think Romeus wins here pretty damn easy. Let's move on. Fight number. Oh, by the way, Romeus is the other loss outside of was to a good guy. Lugo is a good fighter in Bellator, really good athlete as well. And it was a back and forth fight. Really fight. Yes. Yeah. Moving on, fight number 4, heavyweight division. It is the 12-2-1 Rizan Kunha versus the 8-1 Hugo Kunha. I watched this Kunha guy fight, and obviously he's a cage pusher. He's a wrestler. He's got a good single leg. But he's a cage pusher, man. He pushes against the cage a lot in a lot of his fights, right? He doesn't really he has like a non-existent double leg. I don't even think I've never seen him once get a double leg takedown. It's always push you against the fence and go for that single leg and get you down. He does have a good single leg. But the guy he's fighting is, I watched some of his wrestling tape. He's like wrestling at a high level, this Brazilian guy. He's beat like good Russian wrestlers. I watched the actual tape of it, and he's beat them. So he's a good wrestler. Obviously, this is MMA, and I don't know how he's going to react to single legs. And he seems to be slipping a lot in fights and landing on his ass. I don't know why that happens so often, but he does. But the guy is a 3-stripe black belt. I mean, he's got good submissions, I think. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off something off his back if he's taken down. But the main problem with him, honestly, is his striking is not really, his hands are like non-existent. He has decent kicks. He doesn't have very good hands. He doesn't throw a lot of volume. His gas tank is not very good. I mean, all those things are not very good. Now you look at the other guy, and, you know, he was obviously on the sauce against Pereira, right? He looks completely different now. But I don't want people to be fooled, honestly, because the reason why I say that is I know a lot of people are like playing into the, you know, he's off the sauce, you know, he sucks now. Well, in his Contender Series fight, he wasn't against fighting a really good guy, but he had 3 rounds of cardio, man, and grappling, and he kept going to the grappling. So I don't want you guys to be, and he was 260 something then. He looked like a fat ass, but the guy can still grapple for 3 rounds. Don't kid yourselves. So the thing is, can Hugo land on top at some point? Because if he does, I think he's dangerous. That is the main question here. Is there going to be, because Hernan Ferreira got a reversal on him, but that was like kicking off the fence. But this guy has a good jiu-jitsu game. So maybe there might be, and he can wrestle. So maybe there might be a sweep. The problem is his gas tank is very bad. And if it becomes a heavy wrestling jiu-jitsu game, I think he's going to gas out. I do think the line is too wide, though, man. This line just keeps shooting up like this guy's some fucking killer, this Kunha guy. And the only reason it's shooting up like this is because he has that EV or OV. You know, people love these guys. And we've seen it time and time again. This is what happens to him in Dana White's. Last year, a bunch of them sucked, and they were huge favorites. What was the one guy we were saying he was a huge favorite, got finished?
I know you're talking about because he had a common opponent with somebody.
Correct. And he got finished, and he was a huge favorite, right? And we're seeing the same shit. And guess what? He got finished by a Brazilian.
Medeiros, right? Marcel Medeiros, right? Or whatever. What was his name?
Not that. Not Medeiros. I'm talking about the Russian dude that was like 12-0. He was like looking all good. I forgot his name, but he got finished.
Heavyweight.
He was either light heavyweight. I think he was light heavyweight. I'm pretty sure it was light heavyweight.
All right.
And he got finished.
So I was thinking Isakov or whatever.
No, not that guy. This guy's a light heavyweight. Anyways, the point is these guys are always overvalued in Dana White's Contender Series. Way overvalued. And they've shit the bed so many times. I honestly, I'm gonna wait. This line it's plus 500, Sean. They're acting like this guy's some killer, which I watch his tape and I really don't think this guy's all that good. You know, he's got a good single leg. His striking is kind of sloppy. He actually strikes just so he can close the distance, so he can like cage push and get the single leg take. The problem is Kunha is not very good, but the guy has jiu-jitsu. The guy has a wrestling background. What if he ends up on top of this guy? That's my thing. What the fuck happens? Roofy. Exactly. The Roofy fight. He was a huge dog to that guy and finished him. So Talha, that's him. Talha. that fucking Murtaza Talha. It was like minus fucking $1 million, and he lost. So, yeah, I mean, I'm leaning Kunha, honestly, at this price. It's crazy. It's plus 500. I don't like the way he shells up a little bit. This Kunha guy, he's kind of scared to get hit. But this line seems a little egregious, honestly. What do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. The issue with Kunha is that, yeah, he's got all these like accolades, but I just haven't seen him put it together in many of his fights, right? Have you? I mean, I haven't seen him look like some dominant wrestler.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. No,
dominant jiu-jitsu guy, right? But the other thing with him too is that he, like you said, he's scared of punches. He gets tired, so he's just not really a natural fighter. But that said, it's heavyweight MMA, right? They're both making it to the big show here to fight. And we know Kunaev is really just going to cage push him. So from my standpoint, I think it's probably going to be Kunha ITD or Kunaev decision, honestly. I could see Kunaev winning the decision, just making a boring-ass fight. I just need to see like what these lines get released at when they hit domestics to kind of find an angle. But I'm with you. If you're looking at a money line side, it's got to be Kunha or pass. Kunaev is just. Don't you feel like it's kind of it's annoying because Kunaev, while he's not good, the things he does have a very high floor, or like he could win a lot of decisions. That's kind of the thing that pisses me off about it. And have you seen in any of Kunha's fights where like it looks like he has like kill shots? Like, does he have heavy hands in any of his fights? Have you seen this, Mike?
Yeah, what? Sorry?
You seen Kunha have like heavy hands in any of his fights?
He kind of hurt. I'm gonna go back and look at the guy's name, but I'm pretty sure he hurt him. It's in the Contender series. Before he got the takedown, he kind of landed some big shots and then got the takedown, the ground and pound. But I will say, is I watched the guy, the Dutch guy he fought, the big Dutch guy, Rud, that he went to decision with. Didn't look fucking great in that fight. And that guy is just a straight up kickboxer. So the guy almost got a takedown on him, but he just didn't know how to fucking wrestle. So he kind of ended up on bottom after trying to go for a takedown. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This guy minus 600, 700. What the fuck's going on? He probably wins. Don't get me wrong. He's probably going to win. The high likely chance that he's going to win because Kunha, if Kunha had good cardio, I would 100% play him. Because I think cardio is a big issue for him. So especially in a grappling fight, that's where I'm a little torn. But my boy Charles Johnson, look at this. This is from Charles Johnson, signed right there. You guys see it? He signed it too. CJ in the house. Thank you, Charles Johnson. He's saying you look like a better looking Cody Durden.
I saw that. I was a little offended.
My guy Charles.
Congrats on your win streak, bro. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's on fire right now.
He's Charles Johnson with the heavy hands now.
The man can't be stopped all the way to the top.
Yeah.
All the way to the top. Shout out to him.
Watch out for those.
Very good guy. Very good guy. Always supports me. Dude sends me merchandise. I mean, the guy is super nice, man. So give that guy a follow if you don't. Charles Johnson, Energy. I think it's Energy. It's not Energy TV. It's Energy on Twitter. All right, let's move on. Main event of the night. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 9-1 Pitlick versus the 10-2 Andres Gustafson. And this one's yours.
Yeah, fun fight. Believe it or not, I had no clue who Gustafson was. Did you know this guy before this? Did you tape him in the past?
Yes, I know him really well, actually.
I had no idea who the hell this was. And then I'm watching his fights, and I'm like, what the hell is this? The guy is an absolute madman. There's that fight. What is it? The freaking fight where he's bleeding.
Let me say one thing. This is the Walmart version of DDP. Go ahead.
He's He's that freaking Lampinen fight.
Dude, what a war.
If anybody in the chat, I know you listen to these shows because we tape the fights and then you could tail some bets. I highly, highly encourage, if you haven't watched that fight, go watch Andreas Gustafson versus Tony Lampinen. It's probably one of the most graphic fights you're going to watch. Like, these guys absolutely beat the shit out of each other. And, that's par for the course with how this guy fights. Gustafson, he's either looking for a big, like, lat drop, with his takedowns. He's looking for, he's got that, I think he's got like a Greco background, I think.
Yeah, actually, he's a really good Greco-Roman wrestler, supposedly.
Okay, so he kind of reminds me, who's that Finnish guy, Mr. Finland? I'm already forgetting him. That little guy, Mr. Finland.
Oh, the guy that gasses?
Yeah.
Oh.
The way he does his takedowns, I already forgot his freaking name.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. He lost in like PFL or something.
Yeah.
Or not PFL. The Octagon.
Makwan Americani. So he goes for like kind of lat throws like Makwan. That's like how this guy wrestles. So he's using a lot of energy, man. And he's not a young guy. He's 33. He's juiced to the tits. And his opponent is not young either. So this Pat Pitlick guy, he's 35. So Pitlick is like more of like a Muay Thai guy. And just the way I see this going is they're just going to fight. I think they're just going to trade very early and they're going to throw bombs. And the only way, in my opinion, I'm curious to hear your take, the only way this doesn't go under 1.5 is if Gustafson gets hurt and grapples. But like if these guys are actually like fighting and engaging, I think the probability this goes under 1.5 is pretty high. What do you think? That would be my play.
So I think this is one of the squash matchups, to be honest. I don't like what I see from this Pitlick guy. I mean, he's got okay striking. He is kind of robotic, though. To me, he's too slow. Obviously, Gustafson, the problem is with Gustafson is he gives you an opportunity to KO him, right? He will give you that.
That's what I mean.
Bro, he's got a crazy good chin. That's the problem. Like, I saw him get absolutely hit by a bomb against Luderbach, and Luderbach hits pretty damn fucking hard. Yeah. He just took it like, I mean, the guy is just so fucking durable and strong. It's crazy to me. Watching every one of it, the guy is just super violent. The way he lost to Luderbach is the grappling. Luderbach beat him by a grappling, and so did the Damian Jankowski guy. All he did was grapple him for the almost entire fight, right? And this guy's Pitlick is not going to be able to out-grapple him 100%. Like,
no chance.
If anybody grapples, it's on Gustafson can maul him, I think, in a grappling. The other thing you have to, I was waiting for weigh-ins. I'm like, wait, this guy's fighting at 70? This guy barely can make 85. He's all muscular. You see how he looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he made weight and looked.
I'm like,
what? Did you see his traps? I'm like,
he's juiced to the tits, bro.
Dude, this guy is listen. When you look at this fight, right, and this is the main event, 100% the UFC wants Gustafson. Look at the way he fights, guys. Well, they don't want this Canadian Pat Pitlick guy that's 30. What? How old is this guy? Like 34, 35? 35.
Gustafson's 33, though.
Yeah, but they don't want this 35-year-old that's kind of like, They want this fucking crazy madman that tatted all over the fucking place, that fights like an absolute animal. All right. And they put it in the main event. Go figure why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Pitlick, the only way he wins, probably catching him with a knee up the middle, just flush knee and kills him. But man, I think this is a squash matchup, man. I think Gustafson, he has good jiu-jitsu. He's got a lot of like weird submissions and ammies, man. Like he shoulder lock, Americana. I mean, he's getting, and he has that's the other thing I forgot to mention. He's fought really, really good guys in IMAF, in the amateurs, really good guys. And he's beat them. That's the other thing. He's beat most of them. I think this is a squash matchup, man. This Pitlick guy, he looks weak, first of all. And if you're weak going up against this fucking Gustafson guy, you got big issues.
Who's that guy who's that guy that absolutely mauled him? It was
that Pitlick guy. Oh my God, the Jake Lindsay guy, bro. And he looks like a weenie. He's 15.
He owned him. He owned him.
Owned him.
Couldn't do anything.
Him. Yeah. That guy owned him bad, bro. Bad. He owned him bad. And I was looking at that. I'm like, if this guy's owning him, what the fuck is Gustafson gonna go do to this guy? You know, and I think Gustafson could do whatever, man. He can knock him out on the feet. He can ground and pound him, and he can definitely submit him. So, I mean, I think unders. I mean, when you're in a Gustafson fight, you gotta like unders, man. This guy's an absolute animal. He's gonna and now on top of it, he knows he needs to finish. You know, it's UFC. He needs to finish. Like, how do you think this guy's gonna fight? He ain't changing. So yeah, Pitlick is up against it big time, in my opinion. And I think he's gonna finish him, man. Pretty, probably in a nasty style, to be honest. Just the way this guy fights. I'm a fan of his. He's not technical at all. That's why I said he's a Walmart DDP. Just comes in throwing bombs.
He kind of is technical. He is pretty technical, but he's also a brawler. But you got to admit, like, some of the shit the guy's doing is like pretty technical. Like,
he's a madman, bro. I don't know, but his wrestling. He's so strong, bro. If he gets a hold of you, good night.
His wrestling's really good.
Oh yeah, he's strong as shit.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, Luderbach is hard to take down and control. Like, he was fucking throwing Luderbach around for a little bit in that fight. So I think his gas thing is actually good for a guy.
He seems durable too.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many late round finishes he has. The guy is fucking durable. He's tough. He's got all the attributes to absolutely kill this Pat Pitlick guy. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I think this is my squash matchup as well. I kind of feel like if you put Gustafson with Finny, even Romeus, honestly, those three guys, I don't think they're losing. I think that parlay, I don't like parlays much. I think that parlay it's going to be plus money for those three. I think it hits at a pretty high clip, honestly. Probably upwards of 65, 70% probably. So, yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say about this fight. But yeah, that's all my fights. Shawn, thanks for joining me, man. Like I said, we have some squash matchups. We also have some good ones. So you want to let the people know where they can find you? I'm pretty sure most of these people do know. But if you have anything, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, no, it's just my name at Shawn Orr, so you can follow me on Twitter. Catch me in Mike's Discord during live events. I mean, you guys know where to find me. I'm not hiding.
The best Discord in the game, live betting. We've been crushing it. Boxing. Oh, boxing's been crazy. But yeah, link is down below if you guys don't know. Wow,
sorry. Because this guy's bringing this up. Mushroom, Crispy Bacon Nation, baby, right here. Crispy Bacon Nation.
Oh my God, this guy had it ready for you, Mushroom. All right, guys. Thanks for joining.
I cut off your plug.
It's all right. It's all right. Good luck tomorrow. 426 viewers. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like, subscribe. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, put them all in the chat there after the video's done uploading. And yeah, good luck tomorrow, and let's cash those tickets for Dana White's Contender Series.